thing is that the first thing we should do is that worry doesn't help anybody. As Sadhu Vaswani said, worry is like a rocking chair. There is a lot of movement, but no progress. So the first thing we should do is to stop worrying. And consider what are the prospects and what is that we can do to change the course of events if we can. So the first thing is that the General Insurance Business Nationalization Act amendment doesn't automatically mean that one company or the other will be sold and it will be sold tomorrow. No, it doesn't mean. All that it means is that government now has the power to reduce the government stake to 49%. Earlier, it had an option to sell up to 49%. Now it has taken the right to sell up to 51%. But it doesn't follow off consequence that it is going to be done tomorrow. I have read reports in newspapers that the selling of one public sector insurance, general insurance company and 2 banks will not happen during this financial year. That is before 31st March 2022. That is because I believe everybody is busy with the LIC IPO. That is going to be a huge IPO, and I think the government is seized of it, and the Department of Financial Services, I suppose, has its hands full trying to complete that process before 31st March. And there will be learnings from this IPO, just as there were learnings from the IPO of New India and GIC. Talking about New India is a huge reputation in Bombay, Gujarat, in Western India, where most investors live, where most money is there, and it also has a huge reputation in Africa. Even before the nationalization. So its brand value is excellent. It has the strongest balance sheet. It has the highest amount of premium. It has the highest amount of assets, and even physical assets in the form of real estate, office space, residential buildings. It has huge assets. Despite all this, the New India share, which was purchased by the public at 400 rupees per share, is now selling at 160 rupees. That is at a discount of about 60%. At a discount of 60%. So at that, when the shares were offered to the public, they were offered at a premium to the book value of the share. That is net worth divided by the number of shares, and the value for share was divided by that. And then we had charged a premium. I do not know how much is the premium charged. I do not remember it now. It was a high premium, but even if you take 50% is the premium that we have charged. A 100 rupees book value share was being offered at 150. And if it is now being sold at a 60% discount, it means it is being sold at 90 rupees. That is a 10% discount to net book value of share. So the higher the premium we charge, the greater will be the discount on the book value of the share. This is the reality. This is the reality. And there were many analysts, financial analysts, who said that the government made a mistake by charging a premium. We should have offered those shares at a discount. So the government now knows how much money. It is a much better idea. Let me put it this way. It has now a much better idea about how much money it can expect to make by selling either a stake or controlling stake in an insurance company. As we have seen, The first thing is the net worth of the company. The net worth of the companies, Oriental, National, and United India, there have been reports in newspapers that their financial position has not been very happy, and the government has put in money into it, 7,500 into National and 5,000 into United India and Oriental. So I do not know how much money can the government realistically expect to make from selling those companies. And that is one. This is the learning from the GIC and New India IPOs. The second point is that the government's position about restructuring the general insurance industry has been evolving. The unions, especially the not the officers associations, but the staff associations have been saying that there should only be one company. That has been their demand from the time the private sector companies have come. And in the last, about 3 years ago, the government said that it is going to merge 3 companies other than New India. Those 3 companies will be merged. That didn't happen, as we all know. And then there were reports that New India will be merged, National will be merged into New India, or United India will be merged into Oriental, and things like that. That also did not happen. Then came this news that one of the 3 companies will be privatized, that is, the controlling stake will be sold. There have been any number of reports that it will be Oriental or that will be United India. The latest rumor is that it is United India. The point is that the policy has been evolving, and it will be unrealistic to expect that it would stop evolving now. I believe it will. The experience with the LIC IPO will have a very material bearing on what the government wants to do with the public sector general insurance companies. The dilemma of the government, as I see it, is that if it keeps the companies other than New India away with it, it will continue to need to support them, give them budgetary support. And if it really wants to sell them, it may not be able to realize the value which it wants to realize. So if it wants money urgently, maybe it can divest a further stake in New India, even if it doesn't completely sell a controlling stake. So I think for slightly less than 15% of New India is already divested. It may divest a little more to get the required money. And this another point that is important is that how our economy evolves from now onwards. The COVID had a very adverse effect. Our GDP has decreased, and whereas the expenses on health, and we also had a difficult time with China that must have cost a lot of money, the mobilization, the vaccination, all this is costing the government a lot of money. But its revenues are not improving because the economy is not doing well. So that was one of the driving forces for privatization. And that not the only one perhaps, but that was definitely one of the reasons why the government wants to make some money without raising taxes, and it doesn't wish the fiscal deficit to increase, because that would mean higher prices, which is politically unacceptable. So if the economy starts doing well and the tax collections improve, the government's cushion improves, the fiscal deficit comes under control, the government may not be in such a hurry to dispose of the companies. The point is that until now, the disinvestment program has only been in manufacturing industries. This is the first time that a financial company is being sold or proposed to be sold. Is being sold is a wrong expression. Is proposed to be sold. Wherever financial institutions were in trouble, like the Global Trust Bank, the government has stepped in to rescue them, because they are important for the economy. Both New India and GIC have been identified as systemically important companies, like State Bank of India and HDFC Bank and other banks are identified in the banking sector as systemically important entities. That is, these entities, we can't afford them to fail. So both New India and GIC are such institutions. And then I would expect that the government will do everything to support them. And then, as I said, the government's dilemma about the other three companies is that it wants to be sure that it will be able to get the money it wants. If it sells them, if it doesn't sell them, it will be required to continue to provide budgetary support to them. That is a decision that they will take, I suppose, after the learnings from the LIC IPO. That is my personal belief. Or it could be that the merger of two companies will come back. Any decision about restructuring of the companies will happen, in my opinion, only after the LIC IPO. Obviously, it is not in the interest of employees to be transferred from a government employment to a private employment. To ask whether our pensions will continue or our gratuity will continue or our group Mediclaim policy will continue. It will partly depend on, if a controlling stake is being sold, what the terms of sale are. It's not going to be a public issue. Instead, it is going to be a strategic sale, and then that would depend on the sale agreement which the government will have with the prospective buyer. And second is that if government is retaining a 49% stake, which I would expect it will still be able to influence decision making. Take the privatization of Balco, Bharat Aluminium Company Limited, which Vedanta bought. That was a strategic sale. So, but government did not sell 100%. I think it sold 60% or something. And 4 or 5 years later, when Balco's performance turned around, it was doing extremely well. Government was able to sell the 40% stake at a much higher price than what it got for the 60%. So in that sense, I would expect government to keep some stake in these insurance companies so that when the performance improves, it can offload it at a better price. We do not know whether that is going to happen. I'm saying these are all the options. The roadmap is not clear. The policy is evolving. The roadmap is not clear. All that has happened for now is that government has armed itself with the power to be able to sell a controlling stake. That's all that has happened. Which company it will sell, when it will sell, how the deal will be structured, we do not know. How it will affect the conditions of employment of the existing employees, how it will affect the benefits of retirees. These are all in the realm of speculation. But steeped as we are in a public sector service mentality, we are all worried. Yes, I'm also a pensioner. I am also worried whether I will continue to, our pension doesn't get revised with every revision in salaries. So the pension is fixed, and what we get only is additional DA. Our annuities are already purchased. Therefore, we will continue to get our pension. But whether we will get the additional DA is a big question. If it is privatized and the new man, what the new man will decide. But the pension itself for the employees who are there on the road after privatization, that is also an open question. And the second is, of course, the continued subsidized health insurance policy which the insurance companies give us. Whether it will continue, whether the same level of subsidy will continue, whether the same levels of sum insured will be around. These are all legitimate concerns. and legitimate questions. But I think the time to be seriously agitated about them has not come. But it doesn't mean that we should stop, what shall I say, organizing and registering our protest. That we should do. All, I think some of the pensioners associations are doing. I hope you are also doing. You can always represent that our interests are going to be adversely affected. Therefore, it should not happen. What the outcome will be, we do not know. But there is no harm in making an effort. That is a much better way of handling it than getting worried about it. Much better way of handling it is that you try to see if you can change the course of events rather than being merely greatly worried about it and be unable to enjoy the retired life. As they say in Hindi, kal kaun dekha hai. So the king may die, the horse may fly, as the old English proverb says. Anything can happen. The future is pregnant with possibilities. So worry is one thing we should not do. We should organize whatever we can register our constitutional protest so that our interests are adversely affected. That is all very fine. That is all very fine. But what will happen will depend on a lot of things, including our protests. So it is not as if a course is set and it is all written in stone and nothing, we cannot do anything to change. It is an evolving policy. We should not lose heart. It is an evolving policy, and we should watch as to how it is going to evolve and do whatever we can to see that our interests are not adversely affected. This is all I wanted to say. I should also say that it is a great tool. So many new Indians, but unfortunately, I have not been able to place any of them.
Video meeting.
Maybe I not able to place anybody.
Yeah.
I have not been able to place anybody. So,
Retired GM.
But it gives a great feeling that I am among new Indians, and you feel young and part of the industry again. Although all of us are retirees, it feels very, very nice to be seeing all these faces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Venkatramaiah. Very well said. Kal kisne dekha hai. We are very thankful to you. You have explained very well the threats to the existing and retired employees. I think the lot of things has been cleared by you, and any of our members, if they have any query, they can put in chat box.
Yes.
I will. In the meantime, I would like to invite Mr. Murthy.
Hello.
Yes, Murthy, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Venkatramaiah ji, you are welcome. And it was so kind of you that you accepted the invitation with my one phone call. I remember the days when we worked, when you were the direct AO and I was an assistant under you. I still remember those Hyderabad golden days. And still remembering me, even after some 38 years of service, it's a really hats off to you, sir. Second thing,
You are not audible, dear. I think he has lost the contact. He is not visible also. We'll wait for him to rejoin.
I think he has some technical snag.
No. I think I have.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yeah. Now you are audible.
Acha.
Audible. Yes.
I think that there may be some connection problem. It
Yeah,
may
no
be.
problems.
Acha. So till what you could hear, I could not make it out. Okay. So good evening, friends. On behalf of NIRS, heartily we welcome our chief guest, Mr. P. Venkatramaya, who gave us a nice talk about our pension and about his valuable suggestions as to what will be the future like. Another thing that I had the privilege of working with him in 1980 when he was a direct recruit in New India. I was in Hyderabad. He was also in Hyderabad. I had just given him a phone call after some 35 years, and he readily accepted that being New India, I'll readily come over to the meeting. And now you could see that the gist of what he has told about our this Business National Act, which is going on in Parliament. He has given us a clear picture as to what will be our future for our pensioners and what will be the DA hike like. Whether it will be continue or not, it depends on the sale of the agreement of the which government is going to make with the private dealers. Second thing, he has told that New India and GIC are the only most profit-making companies, and that it cannot be touched as per his opinion. It's not that he has given his opinion that we are being an very this analyst, we can trust him totally. I can tell him because from the experience which I had with him for 4 years, in the initial stages only itself I could make out that he is a man who can do things. At that time only he predicted that it will go to great heights, and even he himself went to great heights up to a general manager level. I'm very much happy about it. Then he worked in many different this, and the main thing what he said, he stressed about the in-service employees also, that whether what will happen to them. That's $1 million question. A second thing, as he suggested, we have some ideas to make that. We want to give a resolution to our finance minister that our pension interest should be protected, our public sector should not be disposed of, and our family pension should also be protected, because that is the main bread earner for our family members after putting in some 30 to 40 years of service. Second thing, he told that it all depends on the sale of the agreement which the government is going to make. Now he has also clearly said that private investments can go up, but the government has every right to do it, but it depends on the sale. Now, of course, when you was talking, I had a doubt as to what will happen to the future of GIPSA if these companies are being sold out, sir. Venkatramaya garu. Hello? Hello? Hello?
You have to unmute yourself, sir.
Like the Indian Banks Association, it is possible that all the insurance companies will come together and they will have an association. That is possible. The General Insurance Council is there, which is equivalent to IBA. So they will continue to interact perhaps. Once all the 4 companies cease to be government companies, or the 3 of them cease to be government companies, then probably the GIPSA will not be there. GIPSA will not be there because GIPSA is mainly about service conditions. So if there are owners are different, that question doesn't arise. So but as I said, we should not speculate too much. We will take one step at a time, and see how it evolves.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Regarding this, so we are thinking of sending a resolution to the finance minister that our public sector should be protected, pension this should be protected, and local areas MPs we should meet and give it as to how it will work out, sir. What's your idea about it?
Sorry,
we'll
I
go
did
and
not
meet
get
them.
it. You wanted to give a representation to the finance minister.
Yes,
Okay.
finance minister. Then to meet the local MPs to raise their voice against that public sector not to be saved. And
These are all democratic ways of raising registering a concern. I don't see anything wrong with it. Whatever is constitutional and democratic, we can always do it. No problem. What effect it will have, you can't guarantee outcomes, but you can definitely do what you wish to do as long as it is constitutional and democratic. No problem. That should not be a problem.
So regarding this NPS, it has come in 2004, sir. So up till that, whether pensioners will be protected, and after 2004, there is no old pension scheme, sir. So what will be the position like for the old pension up to, that is the idea.
I do not know whether that NPS was made applicable from 2004 or 2010. I think there was some, representation, agitation, this, that, and the other. Anyway, those who are migrated to a defined contribution scheme, I think that they have no problem. They have no problem. But those who are not there, the pension could be a question, because the net present value of pension liabilities could be very large, and that might affect the valuation of the companies.
Sir, whether our actual valuation of our New India assets has been made, sir, anytime during when you are a DGM or something like that? Because you left New India long back, but any...
An actual valuation of the assets of all the companies was made when the second option for pension was considered. But what those values are, I do not know. But evaluations were made whether the assets will be able to support a second option for pension. And that exercise was done, and I think GIPSA has submitted that data to the ministry. And it was based on that data that the ministry has taken the decision to give a second option.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Very good. So
Yes,
what will
sir.
be? So what will be the future of our this public sector insurance companies, sir? What can you predict, sir? And of course, what is your opinion like as to what will be the future of our public sector general insurance companies?
The government has said that in its policy, it said that in each strategic sector, it will have one entity, one government-owned entity, and insurance has been identified as a strategic sector. So there will be one government insurance company will definitely be there. Whether it will be 100% owned by the government or 51% owned by the government, we do not know. And which company it is and all that, we do not know. But in general insurance public sector, there will definitely be one company. But as I said, all these insurance companies were nationalized, banks were nationalized, coal mines were nationalized. That was the ideology at that time. The recent ideology is to, like Margaret Thatcher has done in Britain, to denationalize. We do not know what is going to be the ruling ideology or a dominant ideology in a couple of years from now. So it would all depend on that. As Anil Sharma correctly said, "Kal kisne dekha hai?" We do not know what is going to be the new ideology. The current ideology is don't keep anything in public sector except what is absolutely necessary. So the earlier ideology was that all the commanding heights of the economy should be controlled by the public sector. Now this maybe it will change. We do not know. We just do not know. We should not make the mistake about future that whatever is now will continue linearly. It doesn't happen like that. So if you ask me what is the future, we do not know. And if honestly I tell you, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Everybody has his own speculation, and he or she is secure in that speculation. That's all.
So as what you said is right. So we have to live in the present moment. That's
all.
Be happy about it.
Did anybody tell you that COVID is going to come and cause devastation like this? Futurologists, astrologists, did anybody tell? So these things happen. We keep on making predictions. Did anybody tell about the 2008 economic crisis? Nobody has said it.
Very correct.
So we keep making speculations, and then the very nice thing is that when things actually happen, everybody has forgotten those speculations, And I tell you one personal experience, all of you must have seen. When elections were held in Bihar, not this round, before this, when Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav contested together as a part of Mahagathbandhan. When the postal ballots were being counted, BJP was doing extremely well. Yogendra Yadav and then Pranay Roy and all those sociologists, they were explaining why this is happening and all. By 12:30, 1 o'clock, it turned out that those were postal ballots and the early results were based on postal ballots. When the actual results were being counted, it was the RJD Nitish Kumar campaign that was doing extremely well. The very same people tried to explain why they are doing well. Only an hour earlier, they were saying why BJP is winning. Now, 1 hour later, 1.5 hours later, the very same people started explaining why BJP is losing and Nitish Kumar and RJD are winning. So, nobody knows. We live in the present moment. We try our best to see that our interests are not adversely affected in a democratic, constitutional manner and leave it at that.
So what will happen to the government floated schemes, sir?
Sorry?
What will happen to the government floated schemes? They are given every social welfare schemes which is being floated. What will happen like? As to what will be the future like for those schemes?
See, the agricultural insurance is supposed to be actuarially determined. Okay. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana says that the insurance companies will charge a actuarially determined price. And I think the difference between 2% and the price actually charged will be reimbursed by the government. That, as far as I remember, is the rule about the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And other is about the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Suraksha Yojana, the 12 rupees for 2 lakhs insurance. That is not very economically priced. If there are no government companies, I suppose the government will ask the private companies to do it at the same price, or it may increase the price. But I expect those schemes to continue. Those schemes will continue. Government may impose a social sector obligation on the private companies, saying that you should do so much of this business also. It can do it. A sovereign government has 100 ways of getting things done. Government sector or private sector, it has 100 ways of getting its things done. A sovereign government is a sovereign government.
Sir, another thing, can I ask one last question, sir?
Please.
What about the wage revision, sir? Will it be given or what is it? It's $1 million question. No, because no unions are called, or what is it like, sir? Wage revision of 2017, whether it will be done or whether only one company will be given or it will be given to all. What is the trend like, sir?
Then I think the wage revision was due in 2017, right?
Yes, sir.
So I would expect that it would go through. I would expect it to go through. Maybe I think LIC has already been given a revision.
Yes.
So GAC will follow maybe a little late. The problem, I suppose, is the ability of the companies to pay. I do not know the situation, but I would think that if the government is giving money to keep the companies afloat, so offering a wage revision will mean that higher outgo. But if it has plans for divesting and all that, it would like to keep employees happy. I think the wage revision should go through.
So
nobody will, earn the enmity of the employees when you are taking important decisions about the organizations.
Sir, another thing, I just want to make you an offer, sir. You should be in our advisory committee, sir, to guide us in our association.
This is, for me, I came here and talked to you because I felt good doing it to New Indians. But
on behalf of New Indians only, I am asking, sir. This group is exclusive.
I could not place him also. Maybe I have not worked with him. But I have one small request here. I have another Zoom call at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So
Yes,
I will leave now and I will take 10 minutes to prepare for that meeting. Thank you, Anil Sharma ji. Thanks you, Murthy Garu. Thanks all of you. Take care. God bless you. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. Do whatever you believe should be done to see that our interests are not adversely affected, constitutionally and democratically. Thank you. Thank you all.
so thank you all, sir, on behalf of NIS. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for
I
being
would have
present.
liked to continue, but as I said, at 5 o'clock, I have another Zoom call.
So we'll be meeting often in future also, sir. Okay.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Hello.
Sir, you are muted.
Sorry. Where I left, can anybody guide me? Hello?
Yeah. That I think audio is not on.
So from the very beginning, it was mute. So anyhow, what I have been chatting with you is that we have been receiving a lot of messages on our chat box, and one of the message read, very informative, should hold such meetings frequently. Thanks, Venkat Ramaiah ji, and everyone participating. So ladies and gentlemen, for your information, I would like to tell you that we have been holding such meetings which are full of informations. In the last meeting itself, we have invited officials from the TPA, HITPA, and they were kind enough to accept our invitations. They came over the Zoom and they clarified a lot of problems, lot of they have given a lot of informations about the procedures and the various problems being faced by a general member. There were some questions were also raised. There was a panel was formed on that day, and they have really, I will not say that they have grilled them, but they have asked some uneasy questions, but they have given answer to every questions in a very easy manner. So once again, I would like to thanks every one of you. If anyone has still anything to say, you can unmute yourself. If anybody want to speak, can speak. He or she has to unmute himself. Thank you, Akshi ji. Thank you, Jagmohan ji.
Thank you, Anil, for holding this meeting. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
KSM.
Thank you. Thank you. Rather,
thank you.
I should be thankful to you. Those are
Thank you.
who have
Thank you,
attended
Anil
it.
ji.
Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
sure, sir. You are audible.
Sir, there was a slab of DA mentioning that this much will get this much slabs, this much will get this much slabs. Can you bother to explain it a little, if you can, if you have got it?
Yeah, I'll put this question to Mr. Murthy. Murthy, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, Murthy, you are audible.
Acha, regarding this DA slabs, it depends on the pensions. It's not that easy because we have different four slabs are there. That is the
Yes.
table we have already displayed it in WhatsApp.
Yes.
Depending
Yes.
on your basic, one has to calculate his DA. Sir. We can't make a chart like our salary slips.
Okay.
This is the basic. This will be your DA. It will be like that.
Okay.
So depending on your basic and the date
Yeah,
of
yeah.
retirement, your
Okay.
slabs are being fixed. Sir. That is the
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Murthy ji, one question. Shall I put one question to Murthy?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. Murthy ji.
Uh,
Yeah. See, our chief guest, he told that we have got every right to raise our voice against these government concerns.
yeah.
So what are we going to do? Are we going with the resolution or some signature campaign or anything like that?
No, we'll pass a resolution and send it to the Prime Minister's office and Finance Minister's office. On another JFTU letter also will send it. And if need arises, the local leaders should go and meet their MPs to brief them as to what is it and let them oppose it. That is the thing. That is the only way we can do it. Being a retired, now we are not in service, and that is the thing. So we can only protest. We can lodge it in a democratic way. That's all. Simple. Because even yesterday's strike, fourth strike, you might have seen as to even in a JFTU call, there were hardly some 30 to 40 people in front of the offices. It was really, when we used to strike, we used to block the roads. 500,000 people used to come on the roads. Now these days you can see the amount of, even if when 4 companies are standing, in the photos you can see that only hardly 40 to 50 people are being seen, and in some regional offices, only 4 to 5 people were standing at the gate, closing the RO offices. That is the general trend as to what we were before, and now what is the present situation. That is the thing. Another thing you might have studied or not, I don't know. In Chandigarh, these youngsters went in, signed the muster, and they participated in the strike. They wanted to save their salary and participate in that. So that is the double diabolical game this youngsters are playing. That is the thing. So how come there will be an impact on the government? I don't think. If display on one side they are signing the attendance register that they are present in the office. The other and and they have participated in the strike, and that photos have come with their names that this persons had signed the attendance register and they have participated in the strike. I don't know how come the office was opened and how come they had entered it. I don't know. That is the thing. Because only regional in charges were allowed to go in, but somehow I don't know that, and they had come with the photos and names were also there. I can name that RO also. It was Chandigarh RO.
Upgrade or upgrade.
That is the thing. So we'll make our representation as pensioners. We are old bones, but we are strong enough. We are far stronger than these youngsters. So we don't worry, Peter Verghese. We'll take it up and we'll fight it to our last breath. Don't worry.
Murthy sir, should we go and support them?
I don't think this will make an impact on them.
Okay. Okay.
And one thing I'll tell you for your
We can
information.
at least motivate them.
We can motivate them, but who will get motivated? That is the thing. They're not becoming even union members for your reasons, sir. For your reason, they're not even giving the union membership form. They are telling that हमको थोड़ा यहाँ रहना, हम तो कभी भी छोड़ के जाएंगे. And they are not becoming even RBS members, DRS members, or SVRS members also. They're telling ये तो हमारा time pass का job है. जितना दिन है उतना दिन चलेंगे निकल जाएंगे. That is the attitude, general attitude. Of course, I'm not saying.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
They are very. It's not like our strong. When we used to get a call, we used to come out on the roads. We used to go and participate. Here now, nothing can be seen. Only some leaders are being seen.
They think they are highly professional.
So that's what I told you. That we old bones are more stronger than the youngsters. That is the thing, and we can fight out more than them because we are more now. Retired pensioners are more and in-service people are less. So if we make a strike, it will have an impact.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
we don't have to forego our salary and neither our pension. So we are least bothered about it. That's the thing. Right.
So ladies
Thank
and
you.
gentlemen,
Thank
we
you.
have among us one eminent personality. He's a veteran union leader and he has helped his fellow employees when they were in trouble. So I'll request Mr. O.P. Rajoria, if he wishes to speak, he should speak to us, he should guide us. He is actively associated with one of the biggest union organization, BMS, and I would like to request him, if he feel he should speak for a minute or two. Mr. Rajoria, if you want to speak, you can unmute yourself. Rajoria ji, please unmute yourself for a second, even say thank you.
Now it is okay.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sharma ji, giving us opportunity to join with this great meeting and great veterans, the leaders and officers. Really, it is a high time to think about that. We have to take the lead to start the agitation. Forget about this in-service employees doing or employee unions are doing. They are one of our former speaker rightly said in Chandigarh. What they are doing, they are agitating and they are marking the register also. This message is going to the management also. And I have also raised this voice and I spoke to yesterday to Mr. Atul Sahai and given some evidences. So my request is to all the retirees to join with a one banner and agitate. And as far as BMS is concerned, if any help to reach out to the finance minister, I am ready to help you anytime. Anytime you may call me, and anytime I can help you to reach out and to give your memorandum to the management or ministry. I am ready to help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. O.P. Rajoria. You have already extended this offer to me over the telephone, but it is very nice to hear from yourself itself. Now everybody has heard him. Whenever we need his help, we will certainly seeking his help and will take his help in reaching out the management or the politician, or even he can fix the meeting with us, the finance ministry officials also. Thank you very much, Rajoria ji.
Anytime.
Thank you very much, Rajoria ji.
If you are also planning to hold a demonstration, then I can.
You have muted yourself. You are on mute, sir. You are on mute, sir. Please unmute yourself. Anyone else who's want to speak can unmute himself. or herself? So I'll request Mr. Murthy to thanks everybody.
Good evening, friends. On behalf of NIRS, we could have a lovely this understanding as to what is our bill like from P. Venkatramaya Garu. We thank on behalf of us, and I thank all the participants who participated in the meeting. Again, we'll be having a meeting shortly because next week is 15th August, so I had postponed it by 1 week earlier. It was normally our schedule was on 2nd of every month, but this week I preponed it due to many people told that there were some August 15 celebrations at their evening time we'll be going out and all. So I preponed it by a week. Again, after some 15 days, another committee meeting will be having on 21st or 22nd. I'll let you know that. And the resolution will be sent on the WhatsApp. Just support it. Okay? Right. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. If you have anything to tell us or put some suggestion, you are most welcome. Kindly let us know how we can help you or what sort of speakers we can invite, which could be for the benefits of retirees. So your suggestions are very valuable. So we invite your suggestions on the subject. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again. I'll be putting this meeting on YouTube also. Those who missed it can go there and see.